future for the 4 Ps: people, planet, purpose, and profit. I'm Swanette, and I'm your Welcome to my podcast, Holistic Way. My name is Swanette, and I'm your host. Today, my guest is Isabel Pinto. Welcome to my podcast.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you here today. And even though we are on the same island, we do it on Zoom. And we already had a little conversation before having this interview, and I'm totally curious, and I'm sure my audience is as well, to understand a little bit about your story, your private experiences, how you came to the point where you are now.
So you have how many hours? All day? Okay, so I'll try to make it short. First, I want to apologize. My English is not the best, but I'll try to do my best. So my name is Isabel. I'm 57 years old already. I was born in Lisbon, and then when I was 25 years old, I went to Macau with my boyfriend at the time, and I stayed there 10 years. I was already a psychologist. That's my graduation as a psychologist. And I went to Macau because on that time, 89, people, many Portuguese went there because they graduate, and Macau had a Portuguese government, and they want people to go there to help to work there. So I worked there as a psychologist for 10 years. I had my 3 children there. I had one first a boy, and then twins, a boy, a girl, and a girl. They are already grown up now. So after 10 years, we want to come back to Portugal, and we didn't know where, which state, and then we chose Madeira because my ex-husband he's a lawyer, and he wanted to start his private practice. And me, as a psychologist and as a government on public servant, I could come in and start already to work. So then we come to Madeira. And it's funny because I have my grandmother from my mother's side. She's from Madeira. But she died when I was 2 years old, so I don't remember her. And I never thought I could come to Madeira to live. At the beginning, I was a little bit scared because I know this was a small island. I didn't know what to expect. I came with my 3 children. They were at the time 3 years old, the twins, and 5 years old, the eldest. So we stay here. The work here at the beginning was not very easy because I was in the health center with a lot of in Câmara de Lobos. It's a place where on that time, on 1998, it was still a problem with people there. But then I got used to it and I start slowly, and I start to enjoy Madeira. I start to see all the benefits to live here. And it was funny because what I felt here in terms of energy, I felt a strong energy here, and I felt like it was my home. And when I go home in Lisbon, I didn't felt it was my home, and no other place, because I live in other places. Always Madeira is my home. It's funny. And then we were living in the main center, in the center of Madeira, but after 3 years, we come to a place called Monte, near Monte. And it was funny too, because it's the place where my grandmother was born. But I didn't choose. I just see the house, and it's here that I want to stay. And so I'm since 2002, I'm living in this house in the place that I like very much. I work as a psychologist, as I said, in education. Then I changed from health department to education department, and I'm working since 2002 on special education children in schools, on younger children from 0 to 6 years old. We work a lot with families, with the teachers, and we are trying to survive and help people to survive all this crazy thing that came with the COVID. It changed a lot the families and the lifestyle of people. And during all this time, then I got divorced. It happens to lots of people. And I have a new family, a new companion, and when I was divorced the first time, that's when I opened my head and my eyes to other explanations, and that's when I start to look for other kind of theories and practices that can help me deal with what I was feeling on that time. Because as a psychologist, I was very rational. But I also, since I was adolescent, since I was around 50 years old, I already read a lot of spirituality. Spirituality was always, since very early in my life. Like the books was coming to me and I just read them. I remember the first book that impressed me, I was 50 years old, was Lobsang Rampa, The Third Vision, The Third Eye, I think it calls, from Lobsang Rampa. He was from Tibet, a monk from Tibet. And then I always read, before the internet, I read this, and then of course now with the internet we had access of many things. So when I was around 40-something years old, I started looking for this kind of knowledge, and the first thing that I practiced was Reiki. Somebody told me on that time, you should try Reiki, and I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a massage for relaxation. Nobody explained me, and it was a very, very strong experience. So then, with that, I took the three main formations: Reiki 1, Reiki 2, and Reiki 3. I didn't want the master because I know that I wouldn't go for that. And then after Reiki came yoga and meditation from yoga. And then I went to search for yoga instruction. So I took the instruction. I'm a yoga instructor since 2013, I think. And I'm practicing since then and teaching, and always small groups. I work already in some gymnasiums and in some clinics, but I have in my house a place where I can do it. And so I prefer small groups where on that way I can reach each person, and not big groups that I cannot reach anyone. And I can put my music, I can put my own environment. So I like very much to put my own thing and not be on places that I don't feel like. So I teach yoga. Then I took a formation of Indian head massage that I like very much. I love touching hairs. Don't know why. And because I like when people do to me, because I feel very relaxed. And then so I learned how to do it also. It's a very quick massage, around 30 minutes only, but it has a lot of profits also. So I work from 9 to 5 on psychologist, and then I teach yoga, and I also do another activity that I like very much. Around 8 years ago, I learned something called traditional folk dancing. dancing the traditional dances from all over the world. We had a friend in Madeira that teaches, and then we start a group for the community where every week people can go to a place, and I had we had some information. So some teachers from the mainland came here and teach us and gave us the music and the choreographies. So for around 6 years, almost every week, I facilitate a group where we dance many dances for all over the world. It was a very good time. We went to Porto Santo also to dance, and in the medieval festival, we have a medieval, I don't know if it calls like that, a medieval festival we have here in Madeira, and we have in Porto Santo. We were there also dancing. But then around 1 year ago, my life is like this. It's like this, circles of life, many circles. So I was a little bit tired, and I shut down. It was a year that I have to stop everything, and I was only working, and I was very tired, because it was a year that I also gave some yoga classes to teachers. In my lunchtime, I went to the nursery schools with the teachers of younger children, and they only had time on lunchtime. So I went there, in 3 schools, I could give these kind of classes and try to relax them also. And it was a year that I did a lot of things, and I was very tired. So then the other year, I got tired, and I finished. And I finished this circle of dance. I delivered the group of 2 of my friends. So the group still exists. They still get together, and they do this every week. And then I was feeling that I need something more calm. And I had an invitation to do a dancing meditative circle dance with a more meditative way. And so I looked for some formation. I went to mainland to took some formation, took some training, and I started in the Arts of School in Madeira. There is a Arts of School, School of Arts, where I started to do this kind of circle dancing, more calm, more quiet, where people could take a very relaxing time. So after that, that's what I do now. I like very much circle dancing. I think it has a lot of profits also for people. People arrive here, say they are a little bit stressed, and after the music and 1 hour and a half after, they are very relaxed. And we also get very, it's funny because I put some funny dances also. So it's a very good time for people. We are relaxed, we laugh, we breathe, we learn how to be with each other in a circle. So it's also an activity I like very much to do. Another thing I like very much to do is cooking. I also give some workshops of vegetarian cooking. I was a vegetarian for 6.5 years, but then I changed, and nowadays I eat whatever my body asks for it. It's not very good to say maybe this, because I'm a yoga teacher, and we should follow I'm being very honest, because I was always honest with myself. And during that 6 years that I was a vegetarian, I was living a kind of life, and it was very good for that kind of life that I was living. But then when we get old, we have some health problems, and so I have to be more balanced in the food. But I can say that maybe 90% or something of my food of my nutrition is vegetarian. But for example, if someone invites me to go to have some meat, I also can eat even a small portion. It doesn't make me any. Okay. There are a lot of issues concerning nutrition and the well-being of the animals and of the planet, of course. And I still believe that we should not, we should think about this, and we should have a planet more sustainable, and where people can grow their own gardens, their own food. That is also something that I'm trying to do. My house, fortunately, I have a space. We have a small garden where we can plant some things, and I have many vegetables from my own garden. So I'm a very lucky person. But I still believe that we should hear our bodies, and we in each phase of our growing as adults, we should listen our bodies and see what is best for them.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. This is really a holistic approach, seeing body, mind, and soul, and healing about all these three areas. And I totally can get that. You said you came here to Madeira, you felt this energy and you felt home. For me, it was the same. The first time I stepped out of the plane, it was like, wow, the light, the energy, this abundance. And it was no question, this will be my home. And so I decided also to come here and to stay. Yeah.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, I knew a monk from a yoga association. He was from India, and he came here to Madeira to do some work with us. And he was always saying, when I retired, I will come here to live. And he's from India, so it's funny that very special place.
Definitely, yes. And really wonderful place, and I really enjoy being here and having also these kind of special people here. So more and more people that have the holistic approach are coming here at the moment. So this is really, perhaps this is the island that is attracting them.
Maybe I can add that today, it's funny because today in my space here in my house, I have, it's now occurring a seminar with a friend of mine, holistic also, that she's speaking about cleaning energy, how to clean energies. And she's speaking now in the floor below of this one. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. How does, like you said, you worked in psychology and you were more rational, and then spirituality came in, and this is, you have to feel it intuitively. So this is nothing that you can, of course, there's knowledge behind how this all works, but if you really want to go deeper in spirituality, you have to really feel it, and this is a different way to connect to that. How does this come together for you? So
I think there is I think there is a word that connects everything. There is love. Love connects everything, and when you feel that kind of love in a spirituality side, when you have some practices that you can feel a different kind of love, a universal love, you pick that and you take it everywhere you go. And that's what I did with what I learn and what I feel in my yoga and my meditation practices. I take these kind of feelings to my work, and I saw many things happen and different. I remember in the beginning when I was very excited with what I found in the yoga and meditation practices, and I want everyone to, when we are excited with someone, we want everyone to know. So I remember when we have meetings in my job with other psychologists, they were most of them were not at all in this kind of knowledge, or if they were, they didn't speak about this. And on that time, 2000 something, I start to take some of this knowledge. I speak very open about this knowledge in our meetings of psychologists, and they were a little bit, what is this? And then I tried to become more calm and I tried to mediate. Okay, I remember we had here also many. I was part of many movements, many social movements and community movements here in Madeira. They came in and gone, and I was part of them. But there was one, Madeira em Transição. Madeira em Transição came from another movement in Portugal, Portugal in Transition. I think it's a movement all around the world that they want to try to make the community work as a community. So we did a lot of things, and one of the things was bring some different kind of school, alternative ways of teaching for schools. And there were some seminars here, and I remember in one of those psychologist meetings I took some pamphlets of a different kind of schools, and people were not very, on that time they were not very like this, they found it very strange. In the end of the meeting there was one or two colleagues that came with me, what is this, what's going to happen? So it was a very slow process. But nowadays we have many people already. I think there were a lot of seeds that me and my colleagues from that movement, Madeira em Transição, Madeira in Transition, we send a lot of seeds in Madeira, and many people start doing different things and start thinking different. So, but unfortunately, people don't get along as maybe they should. People don't know about each other. We have many healers here, and many people doing very nice things. But this is such a small island, but it's very big because we don't have time, or people don't get along so much. It would be nice to have a place where people could speak more with each other. Yeah.
So, as I told you, in the last month, I really spoke with a lot of healers, and the idea to create this kind of network coming under one roof of a holistic healing center is really what can happen here. So there's so many amazing people that have so many gifts and wisdom, and are also willing to co-create and like creating this new way of living. It is not only about education, it is really about
a way of living. Yeah. And another thing that happened this year with the COVID is in my job, I have some internship, how do you call the internships? Yes. So every year I have internships that I have to follow. They have the training here in Madeira in psychology, and then they come 1 year with us to learn how to work in education department. And this year I had a very nice lady. I have a very nice lady, a psychologist. She's my colleague, and she, unfortunately, she's ending now in December. But we are hoping that maybe next year she could stay with us. And with her, we are doing something that called Bem Me Quero. In English, how do you call? Bem Me Quero. I want good for me. I want the best for me. Okay. Or I like me. It's the name of a project. And in our job, in our work with our colleagues, we are making some activities inside of this well-being. And so we start giving on Fridays. It's the day that people are a little bit more free. In the morning we do 1 week we do yoga, 1 week we do circle dancing, 1 week we do art therapy, and so people from our work can go there. Even our coordinator, she will agree, and she liked very much these kind of things. So we are trying to put some well-being in, people get knowledge and get aware of, they also need this kind of activities for their own well-being. Also, when we had to stay home after March, we came home, working at home. Our division, she's our boss, one of our bosses. We have many bosses in the public service. One of our bosses, she asked us to do a work with some subjects, and we chose, me and my colleagues, we chose, it calls well-being, the theme. The main theme is well-being, and then we divide in some topics, and we are going to work for next year. We are going to take this knowledge and practices of mindfulness, of focus, of well-being, physical, nutrition. We are going to take this to the teams, school teams, teachers, and the community, the school community. So it's also something that I think it's a very big step inside the public servant. They got aware that this is important for people that are working, people that help others. They also need to be helped. So we are taking care of those who take care of others. Okay. So we are starting this. I think it's a very nice thing for as a public servant and working for the government, thinking that also our bosses are thinking in this way is very nice to know. It's very nice to know. It's opening very windows.
Yeah, definitely. How does the work you are doing with what you just told us impact also the work you're doing with the children and the families? Because I think this will be kind of have an impact as well on them. You're working differently with them, or how does this change?
Yes. I'm not doing with the children and with the families. I'm not doing this work of well-being. But when we work, the teachers and other people that work with them, I think they are more aware of their own emotions, and they can control more things, and they can make the children better. But also we are doing some projects that, nowadays and since many years, we are very worried with the way that families teach children, the parents, especially parents. I work with the children from 0 to 6. But in this kind of work, I don't actually work with them directly. I work with a context where the children is. So on the schools and on the family, because the adults are the ones who are still formatting a little bit these children, okay? They are very young. So if we help parents to be better parents and teachers to be better teachers, maybe we don't have so many problems on the okay? Another initiative that our government did this year, it was very nice. And health department, social security department, and education department, they got together, and they bought a program from the United States that is already having some very good results in Portugal mainland and in all the world. It calls Anos Incríveis, or incredible years. I don't know if it's like this. I think it's incredible years. It's a parent training skills for parents. So we do some sessions with the group of parents, and we teach them some skills, how to modify bad behavior of the children. And we are having very good results. And there are also, the same author of this program also did for educators. So we are now trying, next year maybe we can also do this for educators. So when you ask me what these kind of activities I do with children, I did already dancing with the small children, but I like more to work with the adults and then see the results with the children, because I don't have much time to do this, to do it's many things to do. So children and parents in my work, we have this program, and when I go to schools, I try to be with the teachers, and I observe the child in the class, and I say, or if you do this, you can do that. Of course, sometimes we also take the child and we give some support directly. We do some play therapy with the children. Sometimes we do that. When I have internships, I ask my students to do that also, so they can train with them. Yeah, but we have a lot of work to do still.
Yeah, definitely. So I totally agree that the age from 0 to 6 or even 7, this is really the time when all the behavior is imprinted in the children. So if you have a good base for them, they can grow up healthy and happily. But if you start bringing in pain or anxiety or being anxious or something like that, this will go on. So this is really like having the stamp on the children in this age.
Yeah, of course.
I'm really curious about, did you see any differences from the children you had the last years before and this year, as we have this very special situation, the corona pandemic?
Yeah. Yes, we from some years ago, when I talk with my colleagues, I'm the only psychologist doing this work in Funchal, in the capital of Madeira. And then I have some colleagues that go to the first grade children, from the first grade to the fourth grade, the other schools, okay? And when we had meetings, I heard the problems of the elder children after 7, 8, 9 years old. I heard my colleagues speaking about the problems of these children, and I was thinking, fortunately, my children are so small, they don't have this kind of problems. But some years, I think 3 years ago, we see more and more, we see younger children with bigger problems. And it's very worrying because we have very violent children with 3 years old, 4 years old, very aggressive, no rules at all. The parents, I don't believe they don't want to know. I think they don't have the skills. They don't have time to think about it. And I think they put the child from 8 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon. They think the school does everything for them. And they parents just want, in the end of the day, to give dinner, bath, and sleep. And there is no speaking about anything. On the weekends, they go to the shopping centers and they put the children with the gadgets or mobile phones and tablets, and they don't speak. And it's like a very big ball of everything mixed. So what we're trying to do is, that's the difference. And this year, especially with the COVID, the children stay at home around 6 months or something like that, or they stay 3 months, and then they went in June, July, they went back to school. Then they stop again on August, they start on September. And many acquisitions the children had, they were stopped. They have to start all over again. The teachers told me, they are telling me now, because since September, I start going to every school to see how things are. And what their complaint is about how they stay a lot at home. And what they learned before, they forget everything. They came with very bad habits. They don't want to work. They just want, they say, I don't want now, now I don't want, and they are very demanding children. So yes, there we notice a very big difference for the worst. And many parents, now we are going to have a bigger problem because they are going to, many parents are with no job. Okay, they are going to get unemployed, and that will for sure make more problems in the family. Yeah. We know how it's going to be.
Yeah, so a lot of responsibility also for you helping the parents and of course the children, because this is how our future will look like. No? If we have children that are already aggressive when they are in a young age, so how will this be when they're grown up or getting older?
Of course. It's a worry. Yeah, we worried a lot. Also, we have some institutions that sometimes the children, there are many complaints about the families, and there is a growing on number that children are taking off their families to go to the institution because the court says that family is not in condition to create or to educate this kind of child. There has been an increased number of children that go to the institution. That is very worried also. I think there should be some support, more support for the families that want to be family. Okay, if I want to be a parent, I have to have some kind of training or some kind of knowledge. It's not only to make children, and we see people. There is some kind of worry on the health department. There is some kind of worry about this, but they only teach how to use a condom, how to protect themselves from diseases. They don't speak about the responsibility of having a child. And many parents don't have any kind of skills of parenthood. They don't have any kind of knowledge. I remember when I want to be a mother, I was already a psychologist for some years. But sometimes at home we don't use our resources. It's better to use outside than in our home. And then I got very anxious, and I want that child, and I got pregnant, and then I remember I bought so many books and I read so many things because I was feeling so insecure about everything. And still I didn't do my best job as a mother with my first child. I know that. I was a little bit better with the twins. I had a second chance. Our first sons and daughters are always the first ones, and we don't know many things. But anyhow, I try to look for that information. And when I think people now, they don't care. They think it's easy. They think to have a child, it's only to give food, and then they let the children do what they want to do. They don't know how to say no, or they say no today, tomorrow is a yes. And the consistency of the education process, people are not aware of that. So we try to make that in our small environment. We try to teach that to them. I also have one day during my working week, I asked my boss one day for adults only. Instead of going to schools, I have one day that I can have parents speaking with me and take their doubts. They have a space where they can speak freely about their doubts and their difficulties. And so I got this day per week. It's very useful for parents, but not many parents don't want to know. Many parents, it's very difficult for us to reach them, because if they don't want to know, we cannot oblige them to come. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So this is also a cultural thing. Like people are grown up here. Even the adults, they have their own tradition, how to, they were grown up, and they're just giving over what they got, and now the children will go into the same tradition. And I think the world changes so much in the last, I don't know, 20 years, that you need new concepts. And of course, like you said, spirituality is coming in more and more. Also, like, how can we help people to become more open-minded, to use tools that really help them to heal their mind, not only, but also their body and their soul. And I see a lot of children. I worked when I was in Germany with pets, so it was animal-assisted therapy. And I've seen that as soon as we healers go out a little bit and give the chance that the children can connect with the animals, they start behaving differently because they get the direct feedback. If I give in pressure, perhaps the animal will go away. If I'm friendly, calm, it will come to me. So I really see that the response of children is very accurate when you are consistent and clear in what you're giving to them. How do you see that?
Yes, of course, because the animal doesn't lie. The animal does not lie, and the animal reacts the animal is very sensitive to vibration, to energies, and the children also. What parents do is, today I like you, but if you are bad at school, I don't like you. Today I play with you, but tomorrow because I don't play with you. So the children are growing in a very insecure environment, because also the parents are scared. Some of the parents, they don't know how to do better. And some of the parents are with a lot of problems in their own lives. They are not secure of their job, they are not secure of the spouse, the relationship many times is not the best. And the children are the ones who take everything on them. So, but of course, I think animal therapy is very nice for children. It's not we have in Madeira the horse therapy, but we don't have many other things. I know a friend that she does with dolphins, something with dolphins also, but I don't know. It's like this project that we don't know how they are going. We don't know. But I think it's very useful for children. When we, as a psychologist, we are with a child, all individual, when we have a child, they are very nice with us. If we pay them attention, if we play with them, if we respect them, they are very nice to us. But when they are in the class with the others and with the teacher, if the teacher doesn't know how to moderate, they want attention, and they hurt others, because this is a negative circle, a negative attention circle. Okay, they get bad behave and they get attention for that. When they are well behaved, they don't have attention. So we are training teachers to do the opposite, to be very aware when the children are behaving, even if it's just 1 minute. They have to reinforce them, they have to praise them, so they can become more, they have a very good image of themselves. What is strange for me is when the adult many times speaks about the child as if the child is a demon. If the child has the problem is in the child, is not everywhere else. No, this child has a problem, and they don't see the child shows a behavior that it's influenced by the adults, not by them. So we have to deconstruct all this, and they do what they know, but we as outsiders, we have this mission of tell them, see this in another perspective. And I like very much this job. Sometimes it's frustrating, but when we see some changes, and when we give space for the adults to speak with us, for the teachers and the parents, even only to listen them, sometimes we do already some changes. And for example, sometimes in the beginning of the year, September, in the beginning of the school year in September, many teachers complain already about this child, and I always tell them, give them time, give them space until December. They are getting new routines, but give them time. For example, we went 2 weeks ago, we went to a meeting with the teachers, and they were speaking very bad things about the child, very bad behavior. 2 weeks later, we went there and they didn't speak about that child. It was another child. And I asked them, but the other child you speak it, he was so bad children, bad child. Oh, no, he's okay, he's okay. This is so, it was so bad and now he's okay after 2 weeks. So sometimes they didn't do nothing. It was just time. The children need time. And the adults want everything on the rush and everything. So, and we have to say to them, see how the time is, sometimes is a healer also. So don't speak about children as they were like that every time, because it's not true.
I totally agree that the children are a reflection on the parents or the adults. So they are all mirror. So what you give in, you will get back.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I totally love this idea of supporting the good behavior. So I sometimes train dogs, and I use this kind of clicker to give them the clicker and then a treat. So every time they behave the way I want them to behave, I say, well, wow, this is perfect. Do this more, more of that. And of course, there's a restriction. This is a really bad behavior, so this is a no. But this is a clear, this is good. I want more of that, and stop doing this. And these are the rules. In between, you can behave. Yeah, so this is a clear place.
Yeah, the rules have to be clear for the children, for everyone. The rules have to be clear. Sometimes we have children with handicapped children with severe syndromes or intellectual deficits, but they always know what is when they learn what is good, what is bad. They all have the capacity of learning what is a good behavior and a bad behavior, of course between limits, but if it's not clear, they will not learn. It has to be very clear what me as a parent, what I want that you do. If I want you to do more this kind of behavior, I have to praise them. If I don't want, I have to have a more negative consequence, and the child has to know the positive consequences and the negative consequences of their behavior. If this is not clear, they will be very scared. Like I had a mother that she said, when she behaves bad in the school, I tell her, I don't like you so much. And so, of course, the child gets very scared, and she's always provoking the mother to see when she likes and when she doesn't. So I showed this to the mother, and I asked her, is it true what you said to your child when you say, today I like and tomorrow I don't like so much? Is it true what you are saying? No, it's not true, but it's only for her to be scared. So you are being very good at it because she's really scared. So you cannot misconfuse the liking with being angry, or the emotion of being angry because of the bad behavior. Of course you like your child all the way, every day. It's not today you don't like and tomorrow you like. It's different when you say, I'm angry with you, but I like you anyway, but I'm angry with you because you did this. So this kind of verbal explanation sometimes do some difference within the mothers. It seems very simple, and they are not aware of the impact they have when they say, today I don't like you so much. They think, they know it's not true, but they don't know the child think it's true because it's the mother saying. And so sometimes we have to be like a mirror and show the parents what they are doing.
Yeah.
But in a loving way, not in a judging way, because it's also a thing that we have to do in a loving way, and showing alternatives. Think about it. If it's like this, if it was with you, did you like it, hear these kind of things? So it's like in this kind of environment, I cannot tell, oh, you are doing this bad, you are being a bad mother. Of course not. Otherwise I will not have parents at all with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that in my coaching, that children who got this information that people told them, I don't like you, I don't love you, you're not good, that this is very personal, and they start generalizing this belief about them. And this really has an impact in their whole life. So I totally agree with telling them this behavior is something that I don't like seeing from you, but telling them you are not good, or I don't love you, and this is like taking away the social connection to the children, like their responsibility. This is really
for their personality. If they grow in this kind of environment, that's why they like a cleavage in the personality. Okay, so people like, as I do, as people like me or not. So I will be the bad because I don't care anymore. Okay, I prefer to be a bad person, because that I know for sure what I'll have. Because when I behave well, even people don't see me at all. So, and another thing, another subject that I remember now for us as adults, the self-compassion thing. Because if we don't allow ourselves to forgive our mistakes, it's difficult also we forgive others. And when I say, because I say, oh, no one look at me. If I behave well, no one look at me. But I also have to see how that person also, no one look at her also. So like you're saying before, generation to generation, people, the same bad habits, the same bad things, and they don't stop to think. They don't stop to think, if my grandmother do this to me, or my mother, I don't want my children to have this kind of life. So we have to see what difference we can make.
Yeah. So coming back to your work, also you're doing with the spirituality, with meditation and yoga and the dancing. What do you think we need to create a more loving and more peaceful and free future for not only the children, for everyone?
Everyone. I think the first thing is the each one has to look for self-knowledge. We have to know ourselves. We have to know our bodies. We have to know our mind, our beliefs, and learn what is not in my life, what is not happening in my life that I don't like, and see why, and have this kind of knowledge and awareness, and first work with themselves, and then we'll be ready to work with other people. And I think get together. Unfortunately, with the COVID, the government don't want us to be married together. But we have Zoom, and it's not the same thing. But anyway, I hope this will finish one day so we could start. I think gatherings, not many people, but small people. And if each one of us can inspire even one person in one day. For example, I got so inspired during my day when I go to work in my car, and I stop in the light, and I see the people walking in the street. If I see, there are some faces, their expressions that inspire me a lot. If a person is walking with a face like she's happy or something, she can inspire me with that. Another day I went to a supermarket and I was joking with a lady that she was paying my thing. I was paying to her and she was seeing my things. And I start joking with her, I don't remember. And she told me, oh, that's so nice to have a client that play with us. So we can do very small changes in the daily life with very small things, because people are so shuttered, so closed in themselves. They even don't look at the sky anymore. They don't look around them. Another thing I think is very important is to be thankful. And we should be thankful every day for what we have, not complaining about we don't have so much, but be thankful for what we have, because that gratitude will bring more things to us. We also did something in my workplace with that my internship. My colleague, she did have a box in glass where we put gratitude messages. Everyone put gratitude messages for that day, and we could take and read. Every day we go there, we can take and read, or we put our own. And so the being grateful, I think it's will bring a very good energy for us. And then get together and share the knowledge, share the feelings. When we can, because now we don't get together so much. Yeah, it's. But first start on our own. Because, for example, for me meditation is important or yoga is important, but for other person might be another thing. Doesn't have to be all the same for everyone. Each one has to follow to see what is good for me. To read a book that can inspire me, to speak with some therapists, they have to know, and then follow that path, that way.
Yeah.
Share.
Yeah. So who did inspire you? You said sometimes it is someone who is you see at the street or in a shopping center, but what are the healers or therapists that inspired you? What kind of books did you read, or what inspired
Well, so many already. I confess that nowadays I read less because I'm with so many activities, and I got so tired that sometimes in the end of the day I just want to sleep. But there are some authors that make the difference when I start my spirituality active path. One of them that's coming out to my mind was Neil Walsh from God's Conversations with God. I don't know if you know Conversations with God, and all these books I read from Neil Walsh. August Curi also is a reference in the psychology as a psychotherapist. August Curi also do a lot of work with spirituality and psychology. Deepak Chopra, of course. Deepak Chopra also like very much. Eckhart Tolle. All of those spiritualities that came in these past few years. I remember when The Secret came out as a documentary, The Secret, I was very keen and I read the book, and I love to hear Braden, I don't know the first name, all those speech in The Secret I like very much. But nowadays I'm not reading so much. Because of the time, but it's something that I have to put in my list to do and to read more, to read more again. Yeah.
So I can totally agree. I also read all these kind of books you just mentioned, and there are so many out more that focus on different aspects and open your mind. And so I really also love to read this kind of books and spend my free time with getting inspired by other people, by other ideas and perspectives. And Yeah.
Yeah, we have also the TED Talks that I love to watch. TED Talks, they also have many people inspire us. Sometimes people that we don't know them, but they have such a strong message to everyone. And I think that that TED Talks are very good to show in a small time so many inspiration for many people all over the world. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So if people now got inspired what you told about what you're doing, like the meditation, the yoga, and the dance circle, how can they reach out to you?
When they want it, I have Facebook, I have email. If people live in Madeira, they can phone to me. I can give whoever wants, I can give my data and my telephone number. I have email, I have Facebook. I don't have many. For example, my daughter teach me about Instagram, but I'm not very keen to Instagram yet. Because I don't have time to. It's WhatsApp. I have many groups in the WhatsApp also. I don't have time to be on the phone. But of course, people can contact. I would love to hear from people if they want to share also with me something. Yeah. They can contact me. Facebook is my name, Isabel Macedopinto. And also my email is isabelmacedopinto altogether gmail.com. And I don't know if that will be written down on.
Yeah, I would, in the description below, I will type both contacts so that people can reach out to you and directly contact you and, yeah, come to whatever you do with them and enjoy.
I thank you so much.
So, finally, are there any tips you could give the audience, like short tips that they can use in their daily life?
Yeah, do what you like to do. If your work is not what you like, you have to compensate with after work activities. For example, there are some things in my work that I don't like, of course. For example, paperwork. I hate paperwork. And sometimes I have bad days, like if I have people that don't allow me to help them, people that don't, that I see they are doing bad things to children. They watch some things, some behaviors that I don't like, and I have a very bad day. Even if I'm tired, when I do these other activities, because people say, I don't know how you can do it, so many activities. But after 5 or after 6 o'clock, when I do my yoga class, when I do meditation, when I do circle dance, my focus is on other things other than work. So in the end of the day, I'm not thinking about work. The other day is another day. So even if I'm tired, I will not be so tired because these other activities give me energy. And I'm with people that I like. So I think it's good to compensate every activity with others. Do something that you like every day, because if not, we'll be very, very heavy. And be with someone that you like also every day, even if it's a friend or a dog or a cat. I also love animals. I think animals gave us the strongest feeling of love. Every day I come and go. I have 2 dogs, and they are the first ones that I see in the morning and the last ones that I see at night, and they give me a lot of love. And have a pet is also something very good. Family also, when family is a nice one, when sometimes they have friends that are not family, blood family, but are also our family. So be with someone that can hear you, that can understand you. Being loved by someone is also good. But special, being thankful. have a good daily life, like taking care of you, taking care of yourself, of your body, of your mind. Not listen to many news because it will get you very down. I listen news. I listen of course, from time to time, but I'm not always listening to news. And move your body, because if you move your body, you move your mind. Don't get stuck. Don't get very. Don't stop too many hours. You move your body, even if it's to clean the house. When we clean the house, we are doing something. And I don't know.
Okay, so thank you so much. So you were really inspiring for me today, and of course also for my audience. Thank you so much for giving us the time and sharing your insights and being my guest today on this podcast.
I thank you for the opportunity. It's not easy for me to speak about me, and I'm not used to. But I also, when we speak about us, we also learn a lot. It's nice to hear our voice speaking about us, because we also learn about us. And thank you for the opportunity. And I think we'll get in touch in this beautiful island, Madeira.
See you soon. Bye bye.
See you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.